I'm big, I'm black, I'm jacked.
Powerhouse Hobbs is one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever live, and definitely Samoa Joe is also on that list. When it comes to Powerhouse Hobbs, he's another one of those wrestlers that people say that he has a lot of potential and it's not being utilized perfectly in AEW. He does suffer from these AEW problems, such as a big man not being booked correctly, such as being in a faction that goes nowhere and that does not have long-term goals, and also somebody that has held titles and not have had good championship reigns. In this video, I will book Powerhouse Hobbs for 2024 and give him a great path to become the AEW champion in 2025.
I'm big, I'm black, I'm jacked.
New Year's to Revolution, Don Callis' family, Takeshita and Hobbs have an undefeated streak. Their goal is to win the AEW Tag Team Championships and to get the AEW Championship. They both have squash matches and they very rarely have very long matches or 50-50. This would also be very important to establish how powerful they are. And then also too, I want them to not be feuding with Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. There are so many times in AEW where we've had issues with repeat matches, like you see with Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. And I also want a world war in AEW. And what that means is that if people are part of factions, they all want to hold titles and they want to do by any means necessary to get titles. At Revolution 2024, Hobbs and Takeshita beat Big Bill and Ricky Starks for the titles. And this will be really, really awesome because the thing is that Ricky Starks and Big Bill have not had feuds with anybody. They've just been title holders. And what I want is that if you are holding a title, you want the smoke. Don Callis will be antagonizing other tag teams. Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs will be picking out a lot of different people, so they want to have matches with them.
I'm big, I'm black, I'm jacked.
I will have Takeshita and Hobbs pick up fights with Samoa Joe. And then you're going to see Takeshita versus Samoa Joe and Hobbs versus Samoa Joe. And then what happens is that I'm going to establish this rule in AEW, that number one, if you are the AEW champion, you can have matches with people under these stipulations. Number one, Tony Khan says he's going to pick an opponent. Number two, Samoa Joe picks an opponent. And number three, it goes by the ranking system. So definitely because they're picking a fight with Samoa Joe is like, you know what, bring your asses here and I'm going to kick it one by one. And definitely I want to have both Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs lose to Samoa Joe. But when they have their matches, these will be great main events for Dynamite. And what I would do is I'll make sure the match is 50-50 and it goes between 45 minutes and 30 minutes. And that's really important because I want to establish that Takeshita and also Powerhouse Hobbs are championship level people. I also want them to have feuds with the House of Black, FTR, Big Bill, and Ricky Starks. And I also want Hobbs to pick a fight with Edge because during Revolution, how I would book it is that I would have Edge versus Christian in a coffin match. And what happens is that Edge puts Christian in the coffin and becomes the TNT champion. And the reason why I also want to do this is because I do want Hobbs to start feuding with people that have been main event people in WWE. This will help Hobbs be a better promo person. And then also too, we have to get away from this repeat of Christian Cage versus Edge. So at Double or Nothing, Hobbs is going to have two matches. He's going to feud with Edge for the TNT title and he's going to get his TNT title back. And also when that is going on, you're going to see Mark Henry and Big Show watch Powerhouse Hobbs from the announced commentary. So after Hobbs wins, it has a grueling match with Edge. What's going to happen is there's going to be a 5-way tag team match. And it's going to be the House of Black, FTR, Big Bill, and Ricky Starks, and the Don Callis family, and also the Undisputed Era. So what happens is Hobbs gets full of himself, he gets arrogant, he gets a little worn out and tired. So the Undisputed Era actually becomes the champions. Definitely Mark Henry is looking ashamed of Hobbs, like shaking his head, like, you know, dude, you had it, but you started to grandstand, you started to just become your own worst enemy.
I'm big, I'm black, I'm jacked.
Don Callis makes an announcement that he doesn't care about the tag team titles anymore. He wants Hobbs to represent the TNT title and he wants Takeshita to get the international title. Don Callis also announces that Hobbs will be facing NJPW stars all the way to Forbidden Door. And he also wants Hobbs to challenge Tomohiro Ishii at Forbidden Door. So on his way to Forbidden Door, Hobbs has a match with Minoru Suzuki and David Finlay. And the reason why I want to do those two people before Forbidden Door is obviously they're not big man wrestlers, so Hobbs can definitely have, quicker matches with them. And then 1 week before the show, I wanted to do Kota Ibushi versus Powerhouse Hobbs, because this can honestly set up Kenny Omega versus Powerhouse Hobbs. And at Forbidden Door, I'll have Tomohiro Ishii versus Powerhouse Hobbs. And the reason why I want to do that is that Tomohiro Ishii is a big man wrestler, and you're seeing Hobbs. So this way you're doing better booking with big man wrestlers. And once again, Big Show and Mark Henry watch the match, and Tomohiro Ishii loses to Hobbs.
I'm big, I'm black, I'm jacked.
Hobbs versus Paul White. And what I will do is that I will have Hobbs do that Hulk Hogan to Andre the Giant scoop slam onto Big Show. That honestly, we don't know how many more matches Big Show has in his body. And then also, too, I want to establish Hobbs as the next big man wrestler. Like, Mark Henry's also watching this on commentary. And then what happens is Powerhouse Hobbs goes under the ring, he grabs a chair, and he's going to break Big Show's leg. And then what happens is Mark Henry gets up and he says, you know what, cut the shit.
I'm big, I'm black, I'm jacked.
And then what happens at All Out and Wrestle Dreams, Hobbs has a feud with big man wrestlers like Big Cash, Brian Cage, Miro, or Luchasaurus, because I definitely want to establish that AEW can book big men very, very well.
I'm big, I'm black, I'm jacked.
And then at Full Gear, Powerhouse Hobbs goes down to the ring and makes an announcement. He says that he's going to relinquish the TNT title, and he's going to go after the Continental Classic Championship. And his ultimate goal is that he wants to win the Continental Classic title, the ROH title, and the NJPW Openweight title for a couple of reasons. That number one, he wants to enter this tournament and he wants the opportunity to beat the crap out of 8 people. The next thing is that with the NJPW Openweight title, he can go to Japan, he can get all expenses paid to the Tokyo Dome, he can whip people's asses, he can have a match at Wrestle Kingdom, and then also he can get all the free sushi that he wants over there as well. And then the other thing too is that he says, Swerve Strickland, you talk about being the first black AEW champion, I'm going to upstage you. I'm going to be the first AEW champion that's black that's going to win the ROH championship and the AEW championship. I'm better than you, and you suck, and you and Nada are both nappy-headed hoes. And honestly, by saying that, he's gonna pick a fight with Swerve Strickland later on. And definitely, what happens at World's End is going to be Hobbs beating Eddie Kingston. And this is also very important because I do not like it when they have tournaments like the Continental Classic, and then you have the champion start and then you have the champion end with the title. And then also my fear is that they have this pattern. They're going to have a pattern of, okay, it's going to be Bryan Danielson, okay, it's going to be a former ROH champion or NJPW champion. It has to be somebody new and different. And that's actually going to help out both companies, new and different people. And at the very end of this match, Hobbs has the confetti. He has a lot of just great music and he's hoping that Don Callis comes down. Mark Henry gets up from the announce table. He's reviewing the match. And then he says, you know what, Hobbs, from now on, I'm your manager. I talked to Don Callis, and we both agreed that you're going to be managed by me now. And this sets up Powerhouse Hobbs to become AEW champion in 2025, and I definitely think that Mark Henry would be a better manager for Hobbs. I would love to see Mark Henry versus Powerhouse Hobbs at Wembley Stadium. This will be an excellent retirement match because we've not seen that with Mark Henry. So definitely this will utilize Hobbs in a better way. This will also show that he can have really great feuds, he can fight with main event wrestlers, and then also too, that'll show that he can have title reigns that actually mean something. Powerhouse Hobbs has a lot of potential, and definitely he needs a lot of great booking, and I'm happy to give that to him because Powerhouse Hobbs is a bad motherfucker and he deserves the motherfucking world and the motherfucking AEW championship.